All right, hey guys, how you guys doing this morning? We're gonna do some artwork. Give me a second here to check in on my signal. If you're already familiar with the channel, you can skip ahead a minute. I'll be done with all of my login stuff, and we'll be getting to work. So, yeah, that sounds pretty good. That's a good volume. All right, let me drop that down so it's out of the way. I need to do some really quick social media posts because we don't get the link to the channel to broadcast until we actually go live, which is why you so often see, starting in 5 minutes or whatever, because it's going to take them 5 minutes to do all their social media posts to say, hey, we're live. So I haven't figured out a loquacious way to do that yet. So I just do it here live with you guys right now. Having said that, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, I publish them online, and I create content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition using the 2024 rules. Right now we are creating an adventure in the Eberron campaign setting. It's called Crystals of Mabar. We're going to see the Artificer book publishing tomorrow. This is December 8th. 2025. So tomorrow the Artificer book is published. So I'm really excited to start digging through that and converting that to the color mana paradigm. But for now, let me rearrange my window here and say if you want to see more artwork like we do today, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. We're live in the future. And for now, let's just get into this. Is the book cover we made. We are making a Spectral Knight right now. I've got my trusty pen and my Intuos tablet here. So let's get back into the groove of what we are doing. So over here we have a Wraith, we have a Spectre, and now we're creating the Spectral Knight. So give me a second to fix my window. There we go. And let's see, where is our... Right, so here is our faded background. I want to grab this here. Yeah, I think we can get rid of that. Yeah, this is coming along. Okay, so let's drop into this space here. Where is, let's see, this is all the armor. And we got the smoke, so this is where we're at with smoke. All right, so let's take, I need to open up our toolbox here, grab some of our tools, and make sure that we're sitting pretty. Grab that color reference. Good morning, folks. And let's see, where is our... that out. Sorry, I'm hunting right now. Looking for... There's the smoke. Where's that coming in from? Trash, that's what it was. Spectre. Spectre's good. Smoke. Sorry, guys. There it is. Let's line this up like this, and we'll drop the opacity on the armor for a moment, just get it out of the way a little bit. Now everything's lined up where we need it to be. I think actually what I need to do is put this on top of the armor layer and over the smoke. So let's bring in here. I'm going to have to bleed and blend in this color where we're at right now. It's too close to the background, so I'm going to push up the white, make it pop out like a little candle. I'll bring this in. Let's switch to our guitar pick brush for smudging. I'm going to straighten that out. So we got about I want to say 5 more illustrations after this, and then we'll have officially finished all of the monster token illustrations for the adventure. And for the most part, all the significant illustrations, period. Off screen in the evenings and stuff, I'm doing like adding like numbers to maps and breaking out little text blocks and stuff, just fixing up all the tail end stuff that we need to be able to actually get this thing published. But we have 5 more creature tokens to create after this. Hey, good morning, Steve. And I might end up. I don't see any reason for me to work on any of the remaining illustrations in the evening while I have other book production that I'm in the process of building. Is once I run out of art assets, I don't really have like watching me put circles on the map of an adventure and then put a number inside of those circles so that it links up with the description of each room in a dungeon. That's not very exciting work. So I don't anticipate doing any of that on screen. That is stuff that I do in the evenings. So I'm going to be running out of assets here pretty soon. There's a couple little corner bits, like little corner illustrations here and there that I can do, but I don't anticipate them being anything significant other than some like terrain type of texture or a sketch of some sort. I'm not really sure what they're going to be, but there's a couple little corner nooks, like in an illustration, like here, for instance. This is just a little bit too small for me to really worry about any significant illustration, but it is a gap. And depending on the size of the gap, it either makes the page have a little bit of negative space where the eye can rest, or it looks like a gap. This here, I think, is a small enough space that it doesn't unbalance the page. If I were to drop something out of the way here, if I were to get that out of the way, if this is our page, that feels fairly balanced. But if I had a gap like, say, this big, that starts to look more like a hole. So when it's only like 4 or 5, like this 3 to 5 lines worth of empty space, I'll let that go. But anywhere there's like 8 or 9, it's like that's something that needs to be attended with, or rather attended to. I guess that's the right word. So I'm sussing all that stuff out, and it's not my priority right now. But once I get done with these monster illustrations, that's going to be the last place for me to have any kind of morning illustration stuff. Once those are completed, with God's grace, I'll actually be done with this composition and publish the thing and move on to the next thing. But if not, we'll probably fill in space with some landscape like some landscape paintings and stuff, just to cleanse the palette. So I'm expecting that probably towards the end of the month. I've got vacation time from my day job coming up in the week between Christmas and New Year. So I'll be able to focus in and crank out a lot of stuff. In about 3 weeks from now, we'll have a solid 8-hour, 10-hour shift that I can get stuff done. And mostly I expect to do that off screen. But that'll also mean that I can have like 3-hour, 4-hour sessions instead of 1.5-hour sessions in the morning. So I am very much looking forward to that. It's the holiday, and in May during my birthday, I take a week off and pretend I'm a full-time illustrator or full-time game designer and just focus in on making books. So I'm really looking forward to doing that again this year. Getting this blend in here, and I'm going to, I think I want to keep the white. So we're going to overlay everything that we've been doing with this little layer of white that we're working with here. Just blend this in here. That's about all I needed from that. So I should be able to blip that out of the way from now on. I'm going to, yeah, leave it there for now. Armor, shield, armor, smoke, armor, sword, and then, yeah, this is the appropriate place to be. Just keep blending this in to fill this space in the armor. Let's do a little bit of this. I'm going to push up the strength of the smudge brush a little bit, just so I can push the pixels a little bit easier. I'm tired today. I don't know how witty repartee I'm going to have or anything, but God bless you guys for showing up and checking out the stuff that I'm doing. Oh, I can now, since I got that thing out of the way, I can push the armor back up to 100%. There we go. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Drop the strength of the smudge brush again to gently blend the color into the full. Let's bulb this out so it fills the armor space a little bit more. I like how this is sitting. Brush that and smooth it in. I like the idea of radiance bursting out of the armor. I mean, we kind of have that lighting effect going on here inside the ribs of this armor already, but I like the idea of extending that. So we might do some glow effects along the rim here of the armor pieces. That feels pretty good. So let's get on top of that. And how's that look? Pretty good. Let's create a skull effect inside of it. Now we can just fill this in. Let's curve that in a little bit there. Get this shape. I can go with symmetry, so I only really need to make one side of this look pretty good, and then I can just mirror it onto the other side for symmetry. And then we can potentially muck it up and create some diversity. But for now, let's blend this all in. Create something like this. I'm going to grab this here, right up the nose, copy, paste, paste. I'm going to free transform, flip horizontal. Merge that down, reduce the size a little bit. There we go. break across there. This does not need to be perfectly symmetrical. Yeah, I like how it looks. Carve some teethy bits in here. Started watching Mighty Nine on Netflix, and boy, oh boy, the first 2 episodes are fucking slow as shit. So I'm hoping there's a lot of characters. I mean, there's only 7 of them. They're trying to introduce all these characters in an efficient manner, but it's just there's a lot of disconnected story going on right now that I'm just gonna have to muscle through for them to get together and, you know, become a team to save the world or whatever the hell it is that they're doing. It's got timely timer. It's got great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes from fans and critics, but it's just I have an issue with connecting with a plot that takes a while to ramp up. It's like, stick with us, we'll get good. It's like, why can't you just be good up front? They were smart and started with a heist scene as the intro to the show, but then it trailed off pretty quickly away from any kind of ultra violence and bleh. It was I'm struggling with it. I'm trying. I really like Vox Machina a lot, so I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it's just so slow to get started. Let's bring that in a little bit here like that. Ooh, and we can let's fade the top of the skull so it melts into this plume. I like that idea a lot. There we go. Oh, this guy's turning out pretty great. Nice. And then we'll go back to our underlayer here and start to embellish inside the armor to reconnect to all of this, the smokiness. Yeah, because we need to punch up that like down here, this faded effect into the environment. That's good, but I need more definition up here inside of the actual body of the undead. But it's coming along. We're in the right place. Just got to keep. It's just these illustrations. They take some layering. They take a little bit of work to bring them all together, but we'll get there. Let's push this here. Blend. Yeah, I think that feels pretty good. I like that. It's almost like a mohawk. That's so great. All right, so we're gonna keep that, and I probably need to smoke out the interior. So let's go ahead and we'll call this the head, HEAD. And then we'll go back to our smoke layer here, and we'll start adding this white back in. I feel like I want to take the head here, and we have to blend in here to get rid of that sharp contrast behind the nose. I need to soften that a little bit. Like that. I don't want to make it completely blocked in because, you know, we still need to see the nose, but I need to make sure it's not fully transparent. That just didn't seem right. So let's blend that across like that, and then drop the opacity a little bit. There. That feels pretty good. Neat. I like that. Now we're going to add in some indications of vertebrae and skeletal stuff. I can't let it be too significant, but I want this is how I see this shaking out like this. How's my sound balance? Anyone, if anyone's able to type in at me, let me know if the music in the background is in good balance with the volume of my voice, please. It's always difficult for me to tell. That feels about right. So this is underneath the armor layer, so I can be sloppy with my borders. There's a rim across there. And blend this in. Zoom. That fat base is so good. Love that. That looks like it's coming together pretty nicely. Yeah. Is this smoke layer? Yeah, it looks good. And we'll piece in some smoke into here. I'm gonna have radiance surrounding the armor to give it a little bit of a glow. Feels pretty right. There. And down in here. It's loose anatomy. It's all vapor, so I don't have to be super specific with the musculature, but I want to have it hinted in and blended in a little bit. That helps, I think, put the piece together. Over in here, we can have some radiant flare there. I want to bring it in over here a little bit. Like that. It's feeling pretty good. And yeah, like that. That feels pretty good. Getting that connection there, and then just pushing that light and just pushing it down into the fog. If this were Magic the Gathering, this would be a white-black card for sure. Speaking of which, hey, we finished up the color mana conversion for the Faerun subclasses on Saturday. That went really, really well. I'm really liking the subclasses. I'm liking the direction that Wizards is taking their subclass ideas. So the Artificer book is available to the general public starting tomorrow, and I, being one of the general public, will have access to it. And we'll begin probably at lunch tomorrow. We're going to go through the class features of the final class features resolved for the Artificer, and then Saturday next week. Yeah, this upcoming Saturday will probably take. That's probably what we're going to focus our time is to convert the subclasses. I might take some lunch times to do that. I'm not 100% if I'll have the freedom to spend lunch times on stream here with you guys converting the subclasses for the Artificer. But I am very much interested in getting into that work. I love the Artificer. Artificer and Sorcerers are my two favorite classes to play in 5e. So I am particularly excited about the Artificer being revised for 2024. Yeah, let's do like that, and we'll have some muscular churn here. That'll become billowy and break apart. Neat. All right, let's take our. That's honestly feeling pretty good. So let's go ahead and let that sit. Let's go back to our armor. And oops, wait a second. I found a flaw. Blend to win. There. Can't leave any of that messy. There. That feels pretty good. Let's go into the armor now and make some radiant filigree. Maybe I need to worry less about perfection right now and just worry about like what is the filigree. So here, and then down here like that. Maybe something like that. Can I duplicate that? Start up here and work our way through. Too much here like that. And through here. something like that. That feels pretty good. Then up here, it goes off the edge that way, and then up here, it goes off the edge this way. Then into this interior space here. This is just basic filigree stuff. It shouldn't be too difficult to get that going. It's a little sketchy right now, but we're just tossing in the idea of it. There. It's not a lot of embellishment, but it's a little bit of stuff just to add some variety to break up that shape a little bit, to make the armor become a negative space, and have the highlights over it become the positive space. I think this is gonna end up looking pretty cool. Let's see. I'm gonna take a sip of water. What time is it? 7 o'clock? We could be done with this here in just a little bit. If I can not fight the sword too much, we may be able to just go ahead and get this done today and move on to the next piece tomorrow. I'm excited about that. We already did basically all of the monsters for this adventure already, but I did the monsters first. And looking back at them, the style of the adventure and the tone evolved over time as we continued doing illustrations, and now some of the illustrations that we have in here seem a little bit too cartoony, maybe just the wrong flavor of menace. They don't look menacing enough, so I want to add some menace to them. Say menace again, asshole. They were fine illustrations at the time, but it's the styles evolved a little bit. So that's not unusual. If I work on a project more than 6 months, there's a good chance that stuff at the beginning of the process ends up falling behind where the rest of the composition ends up at. So it's a calculated cost that whatever illustrations I start with, I will probably come back and redo at the tail end of the project. And so some of these illustrations are similar. That's okay. I like doing creature art. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Putting that in there. Now we can similarly build this in here. Straighten that out. I know it's a little rough, but we'll straighten it out. Like that. Yeah, this will be the last day that we work on this piece. It'll be, if not 100% done in the next. Well, we've got about 40. We realistically have about 40 minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and reset my timer here. Yeah. Okay, we're going to start another 20 minutes over right now, and let's see if we can get this radiant filigree done in the next 40 minutes. That and the sword I also need to complete. And if I can, who cares? I'm just setting a goal to see if we can achieve it. It doesn't mean anything if I can't. It's just a benchmark that I'm setting just so I have something to run towards. Goals are not important because you don't know what you're actually going to achieve. You don't have much say in what's going to actually happen. You're either motivated to do something because you're moved to do it, or you're not. And if you're not moved to do something, it means that you aren't just supposed to be breaking a sweat over it. Just do what you can with it and move along to whatever's next. That's kind of how reality works. We don't get to choose if we keep our job. We don't get to choose what family we're born into. We don't get to choose the situations of our nation or our state or our neighborhood. Shit just happens and we just roll with it. It's when we attach too much value in what, like, why me? What did I do to do wrong? It's not, you're just part of the math. You're just living through the experience with everyone else. It's nothing personal. So set goals for yourself just to give you something to struggle against. That's all it's really there for. And if you beat yourself up for missing goals, how likely are you going to be setting another goal? Because you don't want to beat yourself up. That's the problem. If you set a goal and you miss it, don't punish yourself, because you're just telling your inner self, don't set goals, and that ends up making you procrastinate. So things that you actually need to get done, you start associating with, oh, I can't achieve goals because of this arbitrary choice that I made. Life didn't pull out that way. Like that's a destructive loop. Best to recognize you're just part of a process, and that your aspirations of imagining what end results will be is the only way that you can actually strive towards something, regardless of it ends up being the way that you want it to or not. Like, how many times have you had an idea of how something was going to go down, and at the end of the day, that thing that you thought was going to go down went down, but it didn't go down the way that you wanted it to, but it ended up being okay anyway? That's incredibly vague. But that's life. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Here, curve it around. There, good. Hey, this line's coming together pretty nicely. Again, I don't have to. Maybe I'll put something in this space here. I gotta tell you, I'm looking forward to finishing all these pieces. I want to do some Bob Ross landscapes for a little while, just to cleanse the palette before diving into the next piece. And it'll be a little while before I have illustrate. I mean, like, I've got some book covers and stuff that I need to build for upcoming books. And those will take, book covers take maybe around 40 to 80 hours. Isn't unusual. And we'll begin that process soon enough. But we have books that we need to construct before we can start illustrating them. So there's going to be a lull. There'll be a gap in production. But I like streaming in the morning. So even if I don't have any specific piece that I need to work on, we'll have plenty of stuff that we can actually do here in the morning to be productive together. Yeah, that's a good curve. I like that. here like that, which means I need to thin this up a little bit so I can make that line actually work. There we go. Thin it out a little bit to match the other side. There, like that. Hey, what's up? Hey, Def. It's good to see you, my guy. Medical procedure went well on Monday. I wasn't here on Thursday night or Friday because I'm old and had to go get my butt checked for cancer. So turns out I don't have any. So hoo-ah. Colon cancer took my father. So he refused to have a camera up his ass to look for trouble, and it killed him. So I learned that lesson. Take the hit and stay alive. So everything's fine on my front, and they don't have me scheduled to come back in for another 5 years. So we'll dive back in at that point. Yeah, it went from my dad's colon into his lungs and into his brain, and he was having seizures and stuff at the end. It was pretty rough. Get that edge smoothed out here. I don't think if I can get this sword done, like once I get this filigree done on the armor and stuff, if I can get the sword done, then the piece, like after this filigree on the armor, the sword is the last piece. But it's a little technical, so I'm not sure if I'll actually get it finished in the 25 minutes that we have left, 35 minutes we have left. Maybe I will. It's possible. I'm not gonna beat, like we were just saying, I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't hit that goal, but it is what I'm striving towards. If I can get the sword resolved with the filigree today, then we'll be able to start a new illustration fresh tomorrow. I might be able to spend a little bit of time tonight after stream to finish up the sword. See, at a glance, that looks pretty good. I want to put another shape inside here. I'm thinking maybe a Karnath symbol, like the wolf. That might not be a bad idea. Let's keep kicking forward, and we'll figure it out when we get there. Hey, what's up? Your dad passed away because he was just tired. Oh my God, he was ready to go. This is sort of sound like self-defeat. That's not quite. No. I get it. When your body just runs out of gas, you're out of gas. Nothing. You don't have to break to end your life. Nothing has to happen like that. You could just be done. You could just hit the brakes and just go. That's. One of my friends fell asleep and never woke up, and he was 48. It just happens. Like when you run out of time, it doesn't matter what condition your body's in, you're done. And if it's not your time, it doesn't matter how beat up you are. You will keep going. It really it doesn't matter. The experiences that we have are not directly connected to the outcomes of our life. It's a difficult thing for us to process because we're such cause-effect sort of. Our brain tricks us into thinking that there's cause and effect because we're really good about creating continuity in the events that we have. When something happens, we can immediately find a way to relate that event to what's going on in our inner experience. But it's not actually what's happening. We're just building a narrative so we don't have a psychotic episode of flipping from 1 second to the next and looking for where's the consistency. We build the consistency to make the film work. You know how, you know how film is a series of cells, of film cells that proceeds from second to second to second. This is just zero, or what is it? Zeno was the Greek philosopher talking about the arrow of time. So these sequence events happen in our life, and so this is like hard reality that's actually occurring from one moment to the next, these different events. And we have this constant awareness of who we are that proceeds through time, through these different film cells of the movie of our life. So we piece together, how do these different cells relate to each other with how we're moving through reality, but in fact they're completely separated. Our awareness of ourself doesn't really have anything to do with what's going on in the world around us, because we're always going to be framing it through the reference point of like, what's my perspective? What am I thinking about right now that can be tied to the events that I'm happening here? I'm creating false connections. I'm twisting what I think about myself, and I'm twisting my memory of the events that happened to make these things connect. But often, as we look back at things in our life and our perspective changes, our belief about what happened or why it happened changes as we get more information about who we are and what events have happened. It changes over time to conform with the new story that we have built for ourselves. And that story is just basically vapored into our head. It doesn't really, it's not like we are creating conclusions. Conclusions are being filtered through us. We don't have inspiration. No, like we don't make inspiration, we have it. It's being served to us, and we're listening to it like a radio frequency. We tune into it. And depending on who you are and what your skill sets are and your motivation level, your energy and your abilities, you're going to execute whatever these whatever the inspiration is that's moving you. It's going to move you in whatever direction it wants to move you at the ability of where you're at. So goals are kind of silly, but they're how we keep our brain occupied as we flow from moment to moment. It's the only way we can get to another moment. So we have to give ourselves some sort of continuity story. So again, so we don't go psychotic. Like if I suddenly flip to somebody with blonde hair that was 30 years older than I am right now, like that wouldn't make any sense. Like how is this still me? So we have to maintain this curved structure of where change happens gradually, as fast as we allow change to happen. If at some deep level I understood, yeah, I'm both me and this 80-year-old blonde dude, like I could flip back and forth between those two identities and those two realities, but I don't have my ego structure isn't built the way that I believe that's something that can happen. So even if it could happen, I'm not going to be aware of it. And since it's not something I'm connecting with, it's most likely not going to be something that you see with either, because you are resonating with me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this right now. You'd be on a different frequency, listening to a different radio station other than Phil FM. So everyone that's tuned into Phil FM right now, we are on the same wavelength to share this moment, to share this reality together, because whatever it is that I'm broadcasting, it's built into you right now to receive it. And life is the same way. We are just a bunch of filters. That was a tangent. What the hell was that all about? If everyone knew they had a higher self and acted upon it, imagine. Yeah, no kidding, right? Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, we can't. That's a fun goal, but again, that's a goal that we strive towards while life does whatever life is actually going to do. I'm very much a proponent of both destiny and free will, and that destiny are the things that are going to happen to you in the timeline of your life, and your free will is your ability to have that inner dialogue. Like, whatever your free will is, it's not going to change whatever it is that you end up doing. It allows you to change your perspective and opinion and story about what happened. See how that works? I could have an amazing life, but if I decide that I hate my life and I hate myself, then all these things that are happening, I'm not going to see them from, this was amazing. I'm going to see it, isn't that a disappointment? because that's the gear that I'm in. And the thoughts in our head are not connected to the reality around us. And you know that's true because how often are you thinking about something else while you're saying something? Like the words are coming out on their own, and most of the time we're just witnessing what it is that we're saying. And many people regret it. So often we'll say something and we did not intend to say that, or like, I can't believe I just said that. It's like, well, because what you said was what you were destined to do. It's your free will to think that it was a disappointment that I did it. See how that works? We don't really have a lot of control over our words. And even while I'm saying this stuff, I only have a vague idea of what's about to be said in the first place. Hey, I haven't talked philosophy in a while. I love it. Happy to see that come back around again. I love talking philosophy like that. It's a lot of fun. Hey, so you don't fall into to the law of attraction? No, I don't. Because the law of attraction implies that you have control over the result, and it's your fault if your life is shit. That's the problem with the law of attraction, is it's low-key blaming you for not having what you want. Because you just aren't zen enough to get it. You haven't earned it yet because you're not cool enough to get all the things that you wish you could have. It doesn't matter how much you wish to have something, it's not just going to appear. And it's not because there's a time delay for whatever it is that you're imagining, like that elephant appearing in the room. It's not gonna fucking appear in the room unless there's going to be an elephant appearing in the room. It doesn't matter how hard you wish and try for it. There's like a 0.0 times 1,000 1% that an elephant is going to appear in the room next to me here at the end of this sentence. Oh, look at that, it didn't happen. What a big surprise. It's not like I wasn't properly aligned to make that pachyderm arrive in my apartment. It's just that's a random idea that I have that has nothing connected to do with what's actually going to happen in my life. The thing is that when you look at it at like from moment to moment, you feel like I should be able to sculpt and mold what happens in 1 second from now based on what I'm doing, because we believe in cause and effect. Because cause and effect is what gives us a narrative about our experience in reality. So people that do believe in the higher self, it depends on, it's like, what's their frame of reference? Do you think that you are a ghost in a machine and for some reason you forgot the user manual? Is that what your problem is? Like, that's not real. Because we can't control our thoughts, we can't control our words, we can't control our actions. How many times have you gone to the grocery store and ended up walking out of the grocery store with things that you did not anticipate getting? It's because you're just going through the flow of shopping. And you're going to get whatever it is that you're going to get, regardless of what it is that you think you're going to get. The number of times I've walked out of a store with brownies when I had no intention of purchasing brownies is ridiculous. So yeah, the law of attraction is, I'm sorry for anyone that'd be offended by this, but I think it's just not real. It's a way to blame yourself for not getting the things that you want, so that you have to keep yourself hopped up on enthusiasm. It's a dopamine sink. It's a subtle, it's a spiritual trap that gets you to do busy work that you don't need to be doing. Again, it's just a way to occupy your mind. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not true. And that's observable, because nothing, I mean, if something manifests in your life that you hope for, you never said when it would arrive. It either does or it doesn't arrive. If it does arrive when you think it's going to arrive, it's not because you're a miracle, it's because you guessed. And this time you got it right. But how many other times did you lay out a goal and it didn't land the way that you thought it would? It's not because you aren't enthusiastic enough, it's because you didn't have the right to call the ball on that in the first place. You can get an inkling of what's coming down the pipe. You can get an intuition or a sense of things, and some might call that clairvoyance or fortune telling or whatever, but that's just being able to read trends. That's being able to read the pattern of where you're at right now and understanding like what tendencies do I have within this pattern. Where am I likely to end up if things keep going along this course? But again, this course could jackknife at any moment and lead you in a completely different direction. It's not like the fortune teller was wrong. They themselves will say, hey, this is where we're at right now. This is what I'm feeling, the direction that you're heading in. But they themselves know, hey, life changes so much. This is unreliable. And what I can give you is a vibe check right now for you to basically check your head. I'm basically giving you an emotional hug, right? A spiritual hug to let you know that, hey, what you're doing is fine. Just keep on keeping on. That fortune teller was shit. I expected $1 billion. She said I was going to get $1 billion. It's like, no, where you're at right now, it's like you could become a billionaire. That doesn't mean that you're going to follow through on it. It's not being handed to you. That's pretty smooth. I like that. Let's go over here and smooth this out a little bit, and then we'll move on to the whatever the fuck those things are called. It's pauldrons of fun. Hey, whoa, there's text. I'm missing it. Like thoughts attract thoughts. I would say no. Thoughts don't attract like thoughts. You're tuning into a signal of like-minded thoughts. It's a subtle difference. And I'm who am I to say what your reality is? Fuck off, Phil. I may or may not be right for you. So take everything I say with whatever flavor salt it is that you like. But from my perspective, thoughts don't attract thoughts. Thoughts tune into thoughts, right? Like if you're on a particular wavelength, you're going to notice more things that are in tune with that wavelength. If you're in a very positive, I'm in love with the world sort of frequency, then all the things that are happening around you are going to be colored by that filter of life is amazing. I love this. And it feels good when you're there. That's a chemical process that's pushing you into motivating in that goal space. But the same things, the same events could happen and you could hate them. That's the application of your free will. Thoughts don't have any physical form. They can't actually impact the world at all. Thoughts are opinions. They are a feedback loop of I like this, I don't like that. That's all that they can do. I see what you're saying. Yeah, but I think it'll happen as fast as it happens. Right. Definitely don't subscribe to Instagram. Well, sure. Don't I literally go in the store and get one item if that's what I went in for? I was astounded at this ability. Do you subscribe to? Fair enough. Do you subscribe to the higher self having gone through everything already and leading you along? To put it extremely simply, the quote is, like thoughts attract like thoughts. Sorry, I realized this didn't sound right. No, I get where you're coming from. I believe, where I'm at currently right now, I believe that our higher self exists outside of the 4-dimension space that we're in, and that it can see like in Slaughterhouse 5, Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5 was about somebody who became aware of their entire life and described it as an undulating snake swimming through time. It had a beginning, it had an end, but in that story he became aware that here's the story of my life. He could drop himself into any moment that he wanted inside of that life. And he could loop between different moments. And he could skip moments, which is really handy if you're suffering. He could skip portions to go to things that he wanted to throughout his life. And he'd loop back around. The whole story was about him not having a linear reality, that he was aware of his full timeline. And alien creatures basically gifted him the ability to do that. If you saw the movie Arrival, Arrival in a way is just kind of retelling Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5 from a really interesting perspective. Like the story that they made up for Arrival is, I think, more interesting than Slaughterhouse 5 was, but it was the same story. You have a timeline of beginning to end. And if you can learn how to disconnect your present self from the timeline you're in, you can skip about inside of it to wherever it is that you need. and experience it non-linearly. But that requires you to not have cause and effect anymore. Until you can abandon the illusion or the attachment, as the Zen Buddhists would say, until you can disconnect yourself from the attachment of cause and effect, you're trapped inside of it. That's samsara, the cycle of life. You're trapped in this wheel of movement. And it's not even, I mean, it's described as trapped. That unto itself sounds like a negative statement, which I think is part of the aesthetic that philosophy goes with, that it presents things as traps and snares, but it's not really any kind of, it's not like you're a deer in the forest and you got trapped in something. It's just the flow of reality. And that's what in our higher selves sign up for that. We're here for the ride. The higher self that can see the full timeline is intentionally turning off that, like, this level of reality that we're in. We are intentionally cut off from the higher, larger picture so that we can enjoy this experience. Like when we go on vacation and turn off our phones, it's not like those signals aren't happening and we're not getting text messages and alerts. It's just where we're not looking at our phone. Reality, currently I believe, until my thoughts evolve, the way that I currently look at it is we are that vacation. Our life is that vacation. There is a cell phone of the higher self that's still providing alert messages, and something new just dropped that we're interested in a larger sense of reality, but we're just not paying attention to that right now. We're just choosing to focus on this moment. Like when you choose to turn off your phone during dinner so you can spend time together. This is that together time that we're all spending with each other. And it's not until dinner is over and our life ends that we pick up our phone and then, touch back in with where reality is at. But that framing of reality gives yourself a ton of permission slips to fuck up and to not take it personally and not feel like a failure. Because honestly, if you don't feel like a failure, you're going to enjoy whatever it is that you're doing a lot more. So it's really to your benefit to find a mechanic that helps you not blame yourself for things not happening the way that you hoped that they would. This is really the only control that we have, is accepting that free will is accepting that we're on a ride, and what's the next dip and turn that we're going to take, What's up? That's what I'm talking about. I'm thinking about more along the lines of final form. You, Phil, today will eventually become you, today's higher self. No, I don't believe that. I personally believe... I believe I am already that higher self, that I am already that perfect God form, and that I am just simply experiencing a level of separation from it for me to be able to enjoy the reality that I've created for myself. It's kind of like if you have a Mandelbrot fractal set on your computer and you press play and it starts pulsing color through it. Our spirit, our soul is that color pulsing through that Mandelbrot set. The Mandelbrot set always exists. It's just what color. Are we red? Are we purple right now? Are we yellow? We flow through it. And as we zoom into a specific section of it and it expands and we keep diving through it, we're still part of that larger whole. It's just we're focusing our attention on this very minor, this very limited channel, just because we're enjoying looking at it. Like when you go to a museum, you're not looking at all the pieces at the same time. You're looking at this particular painting, and then when we're done enjoying that, we'll move on to another one. Our life is the moment that we take enjoying that particular painting. Yeah, cool. Experiencing that point. Yes. That is, and if the Beastie Boys are right, that we are all one, then technically you and I are the same greater entity, enjoying this moment from different perspectives at the same time, allowing us to engage each other in conversations with ourselves, not realizing that we're enjoying both sides of the conversation at the same time. I don't remember who it was, but the idea was that when we die, we go to heaven or whatever, and we have our life review. We don't look at life from our perspective. We look at our life from everyone else's perspective. This is a Hollywood feel-good moment that I think we've seen in movies before, although I can't recall specifically which ones. But the idea of looking back at our life from, what was it? The Christmas movie with Ghosts of Christmas Past and Future and shit like that. Whatever that was. Whatever that movie is, or story is. Christmas Carol, I think. But that was like at one point, it's like, this is what your life was like. This is what your life is like when you're not around. This is what people think of you. This is blah. That same idea is when you die, you get to rewind your life and then get to see all the other people that were connected to it, and see what experiences are gained and accumulated from that, to understand the wisdom of how did this, like, what was the good of this? How did this play out for everyone? Our literature, our history is full of these references that this is truth. Even row, row, row your boat gently down a stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. But you're supposed to do it in rounds. So I'm singing it, and then you come in and sing it. It means that there's two people that are experiencing the same song, but we're coming in on it at different moments. And so we're experiencing different phases of that dream that we're inside of together at different instances. And the more people you have roll in to that round, the more the song just naturally flows. You could drop out and jump back in, and the song still sings. Like, it's crazy how much of reality is built around this fundamental fabric of we're all in this together. It's all eternal. It's all moments that we're experiencing together. It's pretty amazing. And for now, I'm going to call these pauldrons done. So let's go down to, I can't remember the name of what this is. It's not the shoulder. The shoulders are pauldrons. Greaves are where the ankle, or like the shins are at. Oh well, can't remember. That's where we're at now. Moving through the piece. I'm not going to get this done. This is not going to be done in 10 minutes. Alas, earwax. And maybe we'll get it done tonight. We're going to jump back on tonight. So I do game design on Mondays and Thursday nights, Saturday mornings as well. And then we do artwork like this in the mornings. And so tonight we're going to be working on more Spelljammer stuff. Spelljammer, Mecha Kaiju. We'll probably build out some more Kaiju. Actually, I think we have Space Pirates and Nautiloid ships to create. And then we'll probably build out, we have 2 more asteroid communities to create before we go and create our neighboring nation. And we'll create that next. So we'll do some community bastions. Some Spelljammer ships, maybe there'll be some Kaiju that we can introduce and add into our random table of monsters, and then probably just further clarify a little bit how the campaign is going to roll. I'd like to get that Spelljammer campaign kicked off in February. We'll see if it lands or not, but that's a goal that I'm striving towards, just so I have a goal, right? Let's put this in here like that. And then we need to fix the curve on this to be like that. So it goes off screen around its own mass. Bring that down here. What's up? Oh. Hey, man. Great conversation, Def. I really appreciate you kicking in with me, man. I hope your day goes really great. And I'll see you when I get to. Cheers. there, and then bend this in here. Yeah, so far so good. So what? Let's put this in here. Curve that around. And then here, introduce the same thing, and then curve this up. Yeah, those are good shapes. Ooh, yeah, I forgot about those little embellishments down there. Let's get into that for a second, shan't we? That feels pretty good. Let's do here like this, then like that, and then it curves around. That feels pretty good. It's a little off center. Let's go like that. And then push that out a little bit. Yeah, it's a little off, isn't it? More like that. Nah, I don't think I like those interior pieces. I'm going to get rid of that. I think I'm making it overly complicated. I like the idea of filigree, but I also don't want to make it overly complicated. So blip that out. That's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Let's cut these free. We'll drop the opacity down like we did before so that we can get these things properly built. Let's add another layer here and we'll merge them down later. Zoom in. See if I can get these lines. Oh yeah, we want to do the flaking shadow as well. We go over here and we look at this wraith here. You can see how like we have these like little broken shreds, like almost like particles in the air, like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. It has that sort of a wisp to it. I wanted to add that flaky, smoky wispiness to the armor connecting bits, like up in here like this, like doing little wisps like that. So we'll have to figure that out, but we'll do that after we finish up the filigree. Things are definitely coming together. Very, very happy with this. Let's drop that down a little bit more so it doesn't get in the way. So that's why I'm being meticulous about the line work here while like this edge here is sloppy, for instance. Let's turn that off. And oops, I was supposed to have had my phone plugged in because it didn't charge last night. Sorry, I'm over here on the side making sure my phone connector is weird. It doesn't always connect properly. That feels pretty good. Nice and smooth. I think we can get away. I think we can get these bracers. That's the word I was looking for. We can get these bracers done, and then I'll cut for the day. We'll still have a sword to do. I think I'm probably not going to get to it tonight. I suspect I'm going to want to work on maps some more. It's just locking down all the boring assets. We'll finish the sword tomorrow, and then on Wednesday we'll start in on a new piece. I think that's probably how it's going to play out. Like this, like that. Victory. And I think I need to tighten up that curve here like that. I'm going to be done here in a few minutes. I got to go to my day job. But we're going to be back tonight. We're going to do some Spelljammer, Kaiju, Mecha, game design for the Eberron campaign that I want to run on my Discord channel. Yeah, that feels pretty good. And then it's really shallow though, so I need to lessen this here, like that. That feels about right. A little thicker. I like this guy. He looks great. Straighten that out. Almost done. And we'll bounce out of here in a minute. But yeah, I do artwork Monday through Friday in the morning like this. We're currently working on this Eberron adventure. When we have this completed, like we got the Bastion campaign system to publish. We've got the Color Mana spell point variant rules that we're updating. The martial power system that we're updating. And we have a couple other Spelljammer things like Vokath's Battle Crab that we want to build, and we still got some stuff to do. I think we're going to be busy probably through 2027, and then at that point our plate opens up and we are free and clear to do and go wherever it is that we want. We might not be staying on the DMsGuild past 2017. That's slower than some other people have exited, but we're still doing fanboy content. So I can't leave yet because I'm still fulfilling the fantasy of making D&D stuff with D&D IPs, and the DMsGuild allows me to do that, and I absolutely love that. I've wanted to illustrate and create D&D content since I was 14. It only took 36 years for me to get here, but here I am. Well, technically it only took 29 because I've been doing this stuff for like 7 years. Super fun. I've got a stack of books linked down below that all have free previews. You can click on the previews and check out my art, my ideas. And there we go. That looks a little bit better. Put this in here like that. That's not enough of a gap. I need more gap. Like about here. That feels about right. Curve up here like this. And then here. We don't need that anymore. Super close to how I gotta bounce out of here. Like, yeah, it's damn near time for me to go. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to rush my way through this to perfection. And again, this is all flaky in here, but we're gonna make this shadowy, wispy flakiness lifting off of the armor. So we don't have to have a hard edge. That's perfect. I want to get the filigree looking good because it's going to be radiance. So I just want that looking correct. This isn't part of the disintegrating flakiness, right? Hey, there we go. Good enough for now. We can merge these things together, and then we can duplicate, and then we can filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and create a radiance effect there. See, now it has like this glow to it. And then, like with this wraith over here, we'll be able to get this flecky, shadowy bit kind of melting away. I want to do that with these edges of armor around in here, like have those piece apart and like flake a little bit. But we'll have to work on that next time. So we're gonna continue working on this. The sword is also going to be radiant energy, but the hilt is going to be, I think, partially shadow. I think it's going to be a shadow and radiant mix, like black-white energy mixing together. Probably have this finished tomorrow. So, awesome. This was super fun, guys. I'm going to kick from now. I'm going to be back in about 10.5 hours tonight. We'll work on Spelljammer some more. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back to finish this up. We're getting the Forge of the Artificer tomorrow off of D&D Beyond. So we'll probably have a lunchtime episode where we're spending looking through the Artificer and rebuilding it for the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules that we have built. And but that's it for now, guys. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me. I will see everybody tomorrow. So hitting save, and I am out of here. Thanks a lot, everyone.